Good evening, and I love you. I was not able to go live at first. It wasn't even an option. I think because I tried to tag people. So I think I'm figuring it out now. I'm going to give this a second and let whoever wants to be here come and join us. And I will get myself in order. And then we'll get started. And I will give you some beautiful love and energy and information tonight. And connect with some of you beautiful people. Hi, Christopher. I'm so happy to see you. How are you? Happy new moon in Cancer, everybody. This is so exciting. This is a really big, beautiful deal. I should have shuffled these before I got on here, but I'm going to do it now. I know that's really loud on there, but this way we can give it a few minutes for whoever wants to come and join us this evening. My East Coast American friends might, excuse me, might have to catch this tomorrow, as it's a little late on the East Coast for a Saturday night. But my West Coast American homies can tune in, right? Because it's, what, 9:30 there? Almost 9:30. So I'm happy to have you guys. I'm happy to connect with you all tonight. I'm really happy to be on Earth right now. I don't know about y'all, but I'm having the time of my life. Seriously. But I feel like that every day, no matter what's going on. So, you know, some might call that crazy. I call it grateful. Hey, right? Because we got to be here. We get to be here. So, hi. Hi, Paul. Mwah, to Colorado Springs. I'm going to get there soon. I'm going to get there soon, and I want to see everybody from school. That makes my heart swell. It makes me want to cry just to read your name. I'm so happy to connect with you tonight. Big love to you and your family and your loved ones, and that beautiful place. I hold so much love for that. Christopher, while I'm thinking about it, how is your girl? Is she still in a brace? How is your family as well? But how is your girl? How is she doing? Is she all healed up? I trust she is doing well. Hello to you, my beautiful friend Rana. Where are you? What part of the beautiful world are you in? I send love to you. Tell me so I can try to say hello in your language. Y'all know I can say hello and how are you and thank you in 40 languages. I used to live outside D.C. and I played soccer on an all-male league for a while at my school. And there was like one American black boy and one American white boy and me. So there was a whole bunch of everybody else. And so I got to learn. And you know, everybody wants to teach you the bad words when you're young. And I was like, no, I want to learn hello, how are you, and thank you. So I got to learn that. So I get to practice. But if I don't practice, I don't remember. So we're in Delaware right now visiting mom and kids. Excellent. Excellent. I'm glad to hear you all are well. I'm glad to hear you're traveling too. Glad to hear people are moving around and healthy and connecting with family. Doesn't that just make you want to say yes, yes? All right, so let me go ahead and let's see here. What are we going to do here tonight? Excuse me. So I'm no longer an active alcoholic, but I'm still a heavy drinker. I drink this mixture that is like loaded with all these things that stain my teeth, so I drink water afterwards. Anywho, wherever you're checking in from, I'd love to hear where you're from, where you're at, what time it is there. Ooh, what's your weather like on this ever-changing planet? By the way, mark my words, that's going to be the next thing that they make the big hustle. The whole climate change things. Can I let you in on something? The planet is alive, just like the stuff in that glass. Yes, and she is ever changing and she is just fine. Do you remember dinosaurs were here once before and the planet looked completely different than it does now? Right. Well, nobody was freaking out then. You know what I'm saying? Humanity might not make it through, but the planet is just fine. She gonna be just fine. So the more we feed that mess, that's a whole nother video. Look at me getting completely derailed. I need to get back on track. Let's start over, shall we? Weather is scorching hot right now in Nevada. Is that normal for you? Hi, Erin. Thank you for checking in. Hi, Bunny. Hi, Jessica. I love you all. I'm so happy to see you. It was really warm here. Well, it's getting warm here. I can't say we're anything out of the norm. Have you guys heard about Mount Shasta? I haven't checked in on that in the last few days, but last I heard there was some lava fires there, which when that's an active volcano, I would think that's called an active volcano erupting, but that's neither here nor there. Let us start at the beginning. Hello, my name is Heather, and Heather Peterson Lockhart, and I am the Chiefess, and I love you. And tonight we're going to talk about the new moon in Cancer, because we are gifted a beautiful opportunity to literally reset, recalibrate. I would say like this is a start over. This is a like fresh energy. It's been a lot for the last while. We've had massive astrological conjunctions, lending massive learning and evolution for humanity, but that does not feel good. We've had massive Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, which is like, you know, that's hard stuff. That's death and rebirth. Pluto will be in Saturn until the end of 23, and so that's going to continue, but this stuff is lightening up now, and so this new moon gives us an energy. The Cancer new moon, before I get all into that, I'm so ahead of myself today. We're going to start at the beginning. I said who I am. I told you I love you. And now we're going to take a second and we're going to tone ourselves and we're going to connect together. This is a throat... I'm lying. This is a heart chakra Tibetan singing bowl. So I'm going to play this bowl for us, and I'm going to play this. Hi, Karen. Thank you for joining us. I decided to take a bath and get something to eat and to dance, which is something I suggest we all do in Cancer season. We're going to talk about that in a minute, because we'll need a lot of internal resetting if we want to have a serene outside, right? Outside setting. So this is a heart chakra bowl. I'm going to play this for us. And we're going to just start with a few deep breaths so that we can settle down and sink into ourselves, a power greater than ourselves and each other. And we can collect our energy together, and we can just do good. We can just do great things. I mean, that's all there is, right? So when we do these deep breathing, we want to go ahead and breathe in through your nose, and then I'm going to tell you to breathe out through your mouth. And if you so choose, make noise. It's called an audible exhale. And what you're going to do is go, and what that does is, first of all, sound is one of the most powerful forms of energy on planet Earth. She's saying amen in her own language, using her voice. Yes. So we can use the power of sound, the power of our own voice at any given time to tone our body, to calm us down. When it's calm time, not all that growling. Come on, settle down. Thank you. When we use our voice to help ourselves settle down, and when we do a nice big exhale and we, you can hear that when I do it. It sounds like, it sounds like you're taking a load off, right? It helps you settle down. So when your body hears, because you are not your body. Remember, you are your soul. Your body is the beautiful vehicle you are riding in. When your body hears you exhale like that, your body, your biology is like, oh, settle down, calm down. That feels so good. And things settle down a little bit. So I'm going to start playing this. And as I do, go ahead and take your left hand and put it on your heart. And take your right hand and put it on top of your left. And go ahead and close your eyes. And we take a big breath in through your nose. And then it out through your mouth. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. And one more, in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And with your eyes closed, go ahead and return your breathing to normal. And with your hands, feel that beautiful engine that is pumping blood, gifting information and life force energy through your body, broadcasting and receiving from all that is, and say, I love you to your beautiful body. I love you. You can say it out loud, your body can hear you. Say, I love you to this beautiful planet around us that gifts us the air we breathe and the water we drink and the gravity we need so we don't float away. I love you. And depending on your faith, whatever words you use, say, I love you to a power greater than yourself. I love you. Relax your hands and open your eyes. Do you know that counts as a meditation? Some people think it's so difficult to meditate because we've been taught that you have to like sit in this one way and do this one thing and all that stuff. So there you are. How do you feel? For some of us, that's the first time we've taken a big breath today. Right? Okay, so this is the new moon in Cancer. Now, Cancer itself is the crab. It's a water sign, but it has the ability to go from the water to the shore. It can bridge both environments. It's highly sensitive to its environment. And so it takes in what's going on around it. A super sensitive crab will curl up in its shell and retreat into itself and not want to be a part of that environment, yes? With this, Cancer is also the sign of the home. It is the sign of the mother. It is the most, we would call it, the feminine, the maternal. Now, when I say that, I don't mean for women. Each and every living creature has a divine masculine and a divine feminine, and sacred masculine aspect of self. So when I say this, what I'm talking about, when I say the feminine aspect of self, I'm talking about the nurture of ourselves. How do we take care of ourselves? How do we create our own calm? Do we have our own safety within? Because if we can't make our own calm place inside right now, we gonna be I was gonna say one of my father's sayings, but it's completely inappropriate, so I'm not gonna say it right now. We're not gonna be able to create calm on the outside or expect calm in our situations, our relationships, and our environments in front of us if we can't do it inside. Because our inner condition creates our outer circumstances. And it goes like that. It goes inner first and outer second. It's not that we've been taught, well, because most of us behave this way until we do not behave this way. We've been taught, most people say things like, well, I feel like this because she did that. I feel like this because he did that, right? I would feel like this if that weren't happening. And so it's very reactive thinking. And if we're going to behave that way, then we're going to be a product of our environment for the rest of our lives. And with the way that the collective earth is changing for some and the way things are going, I don't know. I really don't want to be just a product of my environment, right? I want to be a facilitator and a conscious participant of how I interact. Yes? So with that, during this time, we are lent energies that are literally softer and more gentle and more hospitable to taking care of ourselves, to taking care of our homes, to being more, I would say, balanced people, which translates into better job performance. You know, for some people from the old paradigm, they hear these things and they're like, dude, I'm just gonna slat. I'm saying, like, you know, the old paradigm said you should go to work even if you have a fever, right? You should go to work no matter what. You know, no pain, no gain. Don't show your emotions. I'm trying to think of some of these things, you know, that are like, you know, like, it doesn't matter how you feel. It matters what you do, right? And, you know, we can always take everything and find a degree of that where it's true. But this new paradigm, and when I say that, I mean this new energy, the earth itself is different. She herself is changing. She vibrates at a different level now. And she hosts a higher vibrational energy of love, of light, of capability, of possibility to all of her creatures who are willing to reset and recalibrate with her. Okay? And with that, you know, we don't have to be so Capricornian. We don't have to be so tough on ourselves. We don't have to be so judgmental. It doesn't have to be just like this. You don't have to go to work, damn it, even with your leg broke. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, you need to take care of yourself, or it's going to be a long-term injury that affects not only your body, but in turn then your family and your home and all these things. It's like a domino effect. And well, some of us are starting to understand that now, that we do have to take care of our bodies, that we cannot ignore our feelings without, I was going to say repercussions, but that's a really kind of, well, for every action, there is a reaction. And if we continue to ignore our emotions, then there's going to be manifestations, there you are, of that. And so in this new energy, we're learning to pay attention to how we feel. We're learning not only to pay attention, but that system within gives us, when we're aligned with a power greater than ourselves and acting in our gifts, it gifts us information, intuitive information, inspiration, creativity, straight from the source itself. That is something that we cannot find in a book. We cannot find from our education. Not only that, it's unique to each and every one of us. Because I heard today, what was it? It doesn't matter if everyone understands your calling. It wasn't a conference call. I love that so much. And so with that, you know, I like the analogy that, you know, to me, like, spirit is like, life's like a radio station, right? There's a whole ton of channels out there, and you can turn that radio on and you can plug into most anything you want. But depending on what you want to plug into and how you want to plug in, you know, you might want to tune and find that direct broadcast that comes straight from you, straight for you, that helps you, you know, be your best self. It's not necessarily all the crappy broadcasts of what everybody's doing around you and, you know, what it looks like to be cool right now. It's each of us learning to tune the dial for our own reception, to listen to our own divine broadcast that streams unique to each of us and different in each way. Someone can help you find your radio. Someone can help you turn your radio on. And they can help you start your tuning and be like, yeah, that's it. That's called synchronicity. Or those are the things you pay attention to. Stuff like that, right? But nobody can tell you better than you what's best for you. Right? And the only way you can start to develop that conscious relationship with that source and with your body and with all that is around us that's always communicating, is by taking the time to get quiet, to go within, and to start to love on yourself. It sounds really simple. It sounds really simple, right? People ask me all the time, how do you love yourself? And it's like the most loaded question, right? I got the privilege this last year of sitting opposite a man that I literally went to hell and back with some 20 years ago. I was actively alcoholic. I was actively drug addicted, and I was violent, and I was insane. And he got to see the worst aspects of me. And I got the privilege of having him opposite me some 2 decades later. And he's just sitting there just looking at me. And I said, why are you looking at me like that? And he said, you're literally a different person. And I said, I know, right? And he goes, you love yourself. And I said, more than anyone I know. And he's like, I know. And it was a beautiful gift to me because I had this human being opposite me who not only knew of how far on the spectrum I had gone from one end to the other, but he was a testament, you know what I mean? He was there. So he knows just how horrendous. And so he was sitting there in an absolute awe of the fact that I have become able to embrace my humanity and love on myself in such a way that I really do love myself, and I really am my own friend today, and I really am getting out of my own way. I can't say I'm completely there. I'm a work in progress, you know what I mean? But it's taken quite a long time for me to get here. And so when someone asks me those bell ringer questions, I'm always looking for the bell ringer answer. How do I love myself? How do I begin self-love? What's step 1 in self-love, right? So when I'm gifted any kind of like epiphany on that, and I'm like, boom, 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 that's it. Because for me, when I ask these questions, I'm a Sag rising. I'm trying to pack like 11 lives into one, y'all. And so I've never, ever been able to take anyone's word for it. And I do hope it's, well, and I don't know if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks' teaching. They say words don't teach. And I completely agree with that. So if that's the truth, that words don't teach, would I want another human being to have to go the gauntlet in what I've done to myself to transcend shame and to get to a place of self-love where I am now? Good God, no, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. So how do you give someone an action step to step into self-love, right? Like, because all these little coin things, you know, well, you just go read this book, you know, you just go sit in meditation, you just write an affirmation on there, you just realize that you're like everybody else, man. Okay, if it was that easy, we would all be there, right? So what really works? What really works? And I was sitting in a room the other day, and I am in a program of recovery, and so I got to sit in this room, and the man shared a topic in the room, and he was speaking about getting in service to others. And then he was talking about not only being in service to other human beings, but being in service to other human beings anonymously. So being in service to others without expecting to get credit. And that was really an example of humility. And when you were, you know, doing God's work, right? And when you were right size, to put it very quickly. Okay, so another man said something about when he first decided to do the work for himself. He said that he was told, I'm choosing my words, he was told first to get in service to others, second to get in service to others, and not to tell the person to get in service to others anonymously, to do something for another and not tell the person you did it. That's what I'm trying to say. And then after he did that, he was told to do that again and then not tell anybody that he even did that. And he was like, well, that was really hard then, right? Because, you know, you're still looking for sort of a pat on the back. So I was listening to this, right? And then another man shares that he had stopped for like donuts or coffee that morning. And as he stopped, a police officer, while he was waiting for his food, a police officer came up to the counter, and he said the police officer was, you know, about to make a purchase, and some other person, you know, random citizen or whatever, like raced up to the counter and offered to pay for his stuff. And so the person sharing said that at the time he was thinking like, well, what's up with you? You know, like, why are you like a suck up, right? Because like myself, this other individual had some dealings with the law from the other side, because, you know, I was not on the right side of the law back in the day. So my view of the law was crappy. You're not protecting and serving. You're out to get me, you bitches. Never mind that, like, I'm on drugs and alcohol and driving on the wrong side of the road. It's you, right? Let me just, like, adjust my hair. Anyway, okay. So, he says this is what he's thinking, you know, and he's like, whatever. So he goes on about his day. And then later, he says later he starts thinking about the fact that, like, well, that was a really crappy way to think. You know, like, who knows what this other person probably thought they were just doing a nice thing for a police officer who protects and serves the community. And so he wanted to rush up there and pay for his coffee. And he's like, that's a really nice gesture. That's like a random act of kindness. That is so nice, actually. He's like, that's so nice, as he continues to tell the story. And you can see, he's like, right? So I'm listening to this, and I'm thinking about my own personal experience with my program of recovery, and my own personal experience with service work, if we want to call it that. I was raised military, and so I got to see two beautiful human beings above me model community and service work like nobody's business, which I didn't understand at the time, and I did not recognize and appreciate. But my father had a lot of soldiers underneath him, and so, you know, he was doing that side of it, and they would go in the field, and my mom would know, you know, everyone's personal business, and like who was going into labor, and who was depressed from having a baby, and this and that. And, you know, all 5'1" of her will call all 6'6" of him and be like, so-and-so needs to come home because, excuse me, this issue is happening at home. And he'd be like, yes, ma'am. And the family would be well. And so, and I got to see them. They ran a tight ship, and I begrudged them for that. And at the time, you know, everything was so strict, but, like, you know, they were thorough. And they were aware. They were very aware of community. My mom started taking my brother and I to volunteer in the Special Olympics when I was 5 years old, so that we would have an understanding and appreciation for people different than me. And so I began learning about community at a very early age. I began learning how to connect. Plus, we were raised military, so, you know, you have to, like, open your mouth and befriend people, or you don't have any friends, which was not an option for me. I have too much energy. I have to talk, I have to touch, I'm a connector, right? Gotta get connected. So, you know, I'm more like up on the scene, like, hi, I'm here. And so anyway, I completely lost my train of thought with that. Let me backtrack. I can't pause this and run it back. What was I saying? Oh my goodness. Oh, I was thinking about community, and I was thinking about how I was connected to how I was raised with community. And so then I was thinking about how when I came in my program of recovery, I was told to get into service and to help another human being if I needed to get outside of myself. That's what I was taught back then. If I needed to get outside of myself, if I was hurting, if I was thinking about doing something bad to myself, then get in service to another human being, it would get me outside of myself, right? And I ascribed to that that wording, that thinking, that everything, okay? And so when I came in, I got into service, and it literally saved my life many a time. I taught my children how to get into service when I went through some of the most stressful and challenging times of my life, because I did not know my ass from my elbow. And so I needed something very intense to pour myself into that made me feel purposeful and connected and attached. So we did some fundraisers, we did donations. For those that have been with me a long time, my children and I did, you can check the hashtag, Holiday Help for the Homeless, where we packed sack lunches with our Christmas money and asking others to donate. And a bunch of friends in our community took lunches to some of our friends in Atlanta without homes, as my son used to say. He said, "Do you mean that there are humans without homes?" Like, he could not understand that. And I was like, yeah, that's how we should all feel, right? So, anyway, getting into service, that's actually what we chose to do. Okay, so truth be told, when my ex-husband and I separated, it was around Christmas time, and I was just like, I've written publicly, I was like, if I'm the moral compass, we're all fucked. And I don't know how to lead my family, and I don't know what to do here, and I didn't have a clue. So I needed something to, like, as I said, be tethered to make me feel purposeful, on the right side of things, connected, moving forward. You know what I mean? Like I was doing the right thing. So that's when we began that campaign, which we ran for 3 years. So anyway, service work, if we want to use those words, literally saved my life. Okay. So I was thinking about that, and I'm listening to this room and those people, and I'm feeling the energy in the room, and I'm watching, and the words that came to me and what I thought of at that point was, compassion is the currency of the Creator. When I came there, I was taught that I needed to get outside of myself, because the self that came in there did heinous things and acted a fool. But self here today, after some time of recalibrating, knows that I am God within. That I like the analogy that I am a unique spark of the almighty flame. And that it is, I believe, human nature, until we are ready to recognize that we have God within, and that we are beautiful, and we are divine creatures, and we are perfectly made, until we are ready to exercise that degree of compassion towards self, we are at war with self. And so we do not see ourselves as having God within or connected to the Spirit. We see ourselves as disconnected. So it behooves us to take an action where we generate compassion towards another human being, because then what happens is an energetic connection. When I take action towards another human being in service, what happens is the currency of the Creator is generated. I'm generating compassion, just as if I'm giving money to that person, okay? And I recognize that. I can't help but feel it, right? We witnessed in that room that day this gentleman speaking about how he had witnessed the compassion of the Creator being exchanged when a random citizen rushes forward to pay for the, coffee or whatever it was of the police officer, right? And at the moment, check this out, it wasn't even that big of a deal to my friend in the room at that moment. But then later, he couldn't help but feel that flow, that connection, that currency of compassion that he had witnessed, to the degree that he continued to process it and share it in the room with us. And you could see how even after he shared it, it continued to make him feel better, because it's like the celebration within himself grew. The compassion grew, as if you're being paid more money. You see, this energetic compassion is just the same. It's a currency. It's an exchange. Just as if we were having money in our hands and we were giving it to someone else, right? And since so many of us, it seems, have such an inability to see, I know I did for so long, I had such an inability to feel connected, to recognize that within myself. But I couldn't help but feel it and be connected when I did something good for someone else. When you take $10 and you go to McDonald's and you buy 10 freaking double cheeseburgers at $1 a piece, and you take them to a park and you sit your ass down and you give 10 burgers to 10 different people and you sit there for a while, it changes where you're at. Do you know what I'm saying? And it has this much to do with the $10. Right? And it has this much to do with the greater currency that's being exchanged, compassion. And so, during this moon, if I were to say to you, fall in love with yourself, be so kind to you, create safe space within, be so loving of self, because that's what we need. Do you know how many of you that's going to be effective for? I should have got a tissue. Very few, right? And because it's just not how we work, right? Most of us are at war with self. But if I ask you to do something kind for me, you will do something kind for me. You will find the love in your heart to give to me. We can do it for another. And if we can get in that flow, then the kindness exchange, the compassion that flows is absolutely undeniable. It gets inside your field. It gets inside your cells. It gets inside your body, right? You cannot come home from spending an afternoon doing something kind for another human being that person couldn't have done for themselves and be in the same spot. It's kind of like, I've never gone to a meeting in my recovery and been like, well, damn, I wish I hadn't done that. I've never gone to the gym and been like, well, that was a complete total waste of time. I shouldn't have done that. Not ever. Okay? This is the same thing. So, with this new moon, which is last night at 9:16 Eastern time, so 6:16 Pacific time, West Coast time, right? So we're in this energy through tomorrow, and I'm not just talking about taking steps for just the next 24 hours, but in this new moon phase, in any new moon phase, but specifically in this new moon in Cancer phase, we have the ability to use the specific energies of Cancer to host all of this balance and healing and love and recalibration and reset and reboot of how we see and feel about ourselves and the world around us. And since that seems so challenging for humanity to simply just love yourself, right? Or we all would. I offer that if you can find a way, if you're not already in some sort of service to your community position, you're cheating yourself. For real. It doesn't even have anything to do with your community. It has to do with you. If you're not doing some sort of volunteer position in something, you are cheating yourself. Literally. You're not feeling as good as you can. If you've ever played a sport, find some kids around that you can volunteer some time and help out. If you like animals, go to a humane society around there and hold some pets. Help somebody out. There's like places around here. We found a vulture the other day that only had one little leg. And so we called the like the wildlife rescue, and they always need help at those places. So if you're into animals, go find those places around where you live and volunteer. The Boy Scouts, if you're a guy who likes camping and all that stuff, go volunteer at Boy Scouts. If you play sports, go help out. Find a way. There's old people in your community that need someone to go sit next to them and just listen. Yes. There's places you can cook food. You can serve food for others. You can help another clean their house. There's people in your own neighborhood that need help that live 5 doors down from you and you don't even know it. Yes. So it's that time on earth. And for those that think that the earth needs healing and that the things need changing, the earth is fine. The earth is fine. It is this time where we reset how we see things. We reset the space within where the broadcast is streaming from, by the way. This is the big electromagnetic projector that is pitching that movie out in front of you. And remember I said in the beginning, your inner condition creates your outer circumstances. So we circle back around. When I create a space within here, by the way, this beautiful electromagnetic heart entrains the electric brain, which means this is in charge of this. This sends the signals to this. This is simply a computer. For those that are like, you need to put the mind first. Has that worked for all of humanity? I said, no, I don't think so. This is the receiver. This is the broadcaster, merely a computer. This sends the signals saying, oh, we have to do this. We have to do this. Okay. So this is the beautiful electromagnetic heart. And I totally lost my train of thought. That's classic. Oh my gosh. Oh yes. As soon as I create the space within here that I desire, what is happening in front of here will change accordingly. Okay? So if I want more calm on the outside, I have to create more calm within. I have to create, people say, oh, do you just take your boat to less tumultuous waters? Do we have that choice? Right now, on planet Earth, I'd say no. I don't get to choose how the water is flowing, do I? And I really want my boat to stay afloat. So there's a few analogies here. Do I want to put all my energy into building a more aerodynamic boat, a bigger boat? Or do I want to decide that I'm a vessel on a rocking boat that becomes unshakable? Therein lies the challenge. To become a vessel that encounters these environments in front of me, and I know that I'm safe within. The most balanced crab uses his shell to come within when he needs to, but he knows where to get safe. He's not out in some crazy place that he needs to be like all tucked in his shell all the time going, oh my God, I'm so glad I had the shell. No. He knows how to get to a safe place, a happy place, where he sleeps in his shell when he wants to be cozy, and then he comes out of his shell when he wants to. It's perfect. It's the perfect mix, right? So, we have this really pretty time. Right now, as I was saying again, this is beautiful water energy in Cancer season. So, there's some things that you can do to help yourself balance, to calm yourself down. Before I started this little broadcast, I took a Epsom salt bath, which for those that are, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Epsom salt helps calm your electromagnetic field. So if you're feeling kind of charged up, you can put your bare feet on the ground. You can sit your butt on the ground. You can take an Epsom salt bath. I also very much enjoy the water. I was going to say the water is very soothing. Using water to soothe, meditating with water during this season is going to be very beneficial. Absolutely. And since it is Cancer, the feminine sign of nurture, again, for you guys watching, not talking about female or male, meaning how do you take care of yourself? How do you create balance? How do you make yourself feel calm, comfy, cozy inside? You know what I do? I dance. I sing. I cook myself cozy food. I treat myself just like I want someone else to. I do all that. Yes. Because, and this is for women or man, you know, I have this really soft blanket in my bed that sometimes like I'll put by my cheek and I'll rub up against my cheek, and it's so cozy against my skin, and it just makes me feel so cozy. And what else? Like I said, the baths are super soothing to me, super cozy. I bake the cookies I want when I want to eat them. I eat them right before I go to bed. Yes, I do. All that. So this season, we really want to learn to put our selves first and create the cozy space within. And so you're going to have to start paying attention to your feelings a little bit. For some, that's a really, really crazy shit show. I know, I remember. Well, I'm still a crazy shit show, but when I first started feeling my feelings, that was like, oh my God, so much. So, you know, little steps for little feet, right? A little bit at a time. Get your feet on the ground every day. Take baths. Whatever. What else? Eat every 3 hours. Include more fat in your diet now. We're in air signs. Energy's moving faster. I would have fat, healthy fat in everything you eat. Eat some healthy fat right before you go to bed. So like natural peanut butter, avocado, all that stuff right before you go to bed. Yes, I said right before you go to bed. I'll make a special on nutrition too. But yes, you want to feed your brain because you want to sleep good. I have a really bright light in my eyes. It's starting to make my eyes red and it hurts my eyes. Anywho, I'm going to pull a card for us. And if you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them up here. And I will go through here and I will answer questions. And I'm grateful you all are here. I'm so grateful. Oh, the bowl is right in front of me. Whoo! Can you hear it? It'll like pick up my voice. Oops, it keeps going back up here. Da-da-da, da-da-da. I'm not sure. I'm like all over the place. I probably look cross-eyed too. I have to forgive myself that wrong that I had done before I could love myself. Yes. That's key. You know, I had to learn the really, 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 really hard way that my projections of everything with everyone else has this much to do with everyone else. And watch this. Let me see if I can do it. Oh, wait, I have other fingers. Which side are we? That much to do with me. Is it that or is it this one? I'm trying to say 100%. If I feel like others are judging me, I'm judging myself. If I feel like others think I'm too much, I'm having a hard time receiving my own calling and giving myself permission to be authentic and to own my own belief system and to listen to my own heart. But it's much easier to blame it on others. And so, yes, I had to do the same thing. I had to forgive myself because I learned that I was my own saboteur. I was the one that made a whole lot of choices that ultimately put me in this certain position. And I was the one, I mean, but let's just put it this way, girl, well, who was the common denominator in the whole thing? Who was the homie that was there every time? Yes. And I can trust in a law of attraction universe. That means I called it in. So until I am no longer the vessel sending that ping, until I am no longer a match to the shit show outside, I will be a match to the shit show outside. When I change what I am within, I will attract, you know, what I am. So The work is with me. And for me, that's the most freeing thing, because I am the problem and the solution. We are nothing but love emanating from the universe. Oh, you sweet thing. I love you so much. You are so filled with everything beautiful and positive. Let's see what cards we have here. What else am I supposed to tell you? For those that are local. Oh, okay. So, hey, before I forget, what we're doing. Ooh, I almost dropped them. So, step into service. First of all, use this moon energy to change your game. If you change the energy inside you, what's outside you will change. So, easy way to do that. Step into service. Step into that flow. Step into that currency of the creator, the compassion that you generate when you do something kind for another human being. Y'all don't have to do something big. Go through your neighborhood and, I mean, I was going to say pull up the paper for the old people, but does anybody read the paper anymore? I don't know. You can take up the trash containers, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can just like pay attention to what's going on around you. Be of service. Because most people are pretty freaked out on earth right now. So even just being a calm vessel as you go through the day is like one of the most biggest ways to be of service on planet Earth right now. To be a non-reactive, conscious thinking human is where it's at. Yes. Choose your own energy. Don't pay attention. Operative word, pay. Don't pay attention to that which you do not want more of. Choose to start understanding that you are currency. You are energy. You can get in the currency of compassion or you can take it elsewhere. For this moon, especially though, step into service in your community. Start becoming aware that when you step into that flow, you will generate more. Decide when you wake up in the day that you're going to be, you can say, I am a conscious human being. I choose to be part of the solution today. And y'all see when I spell that, I spell SOUL solution. Because I choose as a soul to be part of the solution. I want the words I speak to be of the solution. I want the steps I take to be of the solution, where I put my hands, where I put my energy. I don't want to be calling up someone talking about the problem. Lending my voice, lending my energy, lending my heart space to the problem. I'm way too pretty for that. Way too much a commodity, if you know what I mean. Just like we all are, right? So when we wake up in the day, we can start with, I'm a beautiful child of God, whatever word you choose. The earth is a fun place for me today. I am a conscious human being. I choose to be part of the solution. There are 4 mantras. I said them slow, you can run it back. You can say those out loud. You can write them down from the very beginning of the day, and they will set the tone for how you choose to go through the day. If you choose to take action in the next 24 hours, now let's say 48 from when I put this up. In the next 48 hours, you're in that divine timing window where it's like getting an invitation that says, if you play the lottery now, you have a 75% chance greater of having it come true, you know, or picking your thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like that, okay? So if you decide, and this is tricky, if you decide to do something, now for those that are new at this doesn't mean you have to like sign up for a job that's going to be long term. It means decide you're going to start taking action in a more beneficial way. That might mean that tomorrow you take the paper in for the neighbor in the morning, okay? And then in the evening, you pull up someone's trash can. I don't mean you have to run down to the Humane Society tonight and be like, I will hold pets every night. You know, I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm saying in the next 48 hours, show the universe, because this is how it works, okay? Show the universe that you're going to use this energy, that you're going to act like a conscious human being. You're going to participate. You're going to start playing the game. You're going to say, hey, I really want to do this, so I'm going to take some action so you can see like I'm putting my money where my mouth is type thing, right? So you can take little actions. You can take little separate actions. But if we're going to begin a conscious way of living, it doesn't mean you have to sign up for this one thing and stick to it. It means I'm going to try to start paying more attention to how I interact with my environment. I'm going to try to create the space inside me first, choosing what that feels like, what that looks like, who I want to be, before I open my eyes and my mouth and my hands and take action moving forward, right? So if you're new to this whole conscious way, start the day with those 4 mantras that I just said. Write them down or say them out loud, or do both. You're doing very conscious, 2 very different conscious processes. When you say them out loud and give life to those words out of your own mouth, your body is listening. When you write them down, all that is seeing you write them. During this new moon phase, that's very powerful. So if you want, there's your plan right there. And then take conscious action, stepping into service. Step into service first for yourself. Do something that helps you settle down and helps you feel calm. And I would say beautiful. I hesitate to use that word for the men that watch, but perhaps what makes you feel calm and worthwhile? What makes you feel calm and beautiful, ladies? A little gesture that makes you feel like not so much beautiful on the outside, but beautiful on the inside, like, I'm really all right. I'm really worthwhile. First, take action in service to yourself, because that'll help you create that space. Something little. And then you need to step into service for your community. If you're not already doing something for your community, do it. Do it. Oh, wow. We pulled Lilith for independence, upside down, which means we have an alignment message. She's number 29. 2 and 9 is 11. 1 and 1 is 2. Duality, partnership. Look at, I want you to see her. Hold on. There we go. The earth is such a cool playground, but so many of us choose to sit on the sidelines and stalk instead of playing. Yes, I was having a beautiful conversation with a woman tonight, and she was saying something about, well, we have to do this because they, and I said, oh, whoa, 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 there's no they. The minute there's a they and an us, nah, there's no they. There's no sitting on the sidelines saying that things are not right. Everything is just fine. It's just right. It's just right. It's always just right. I have a great little story for you before I read. No, I'll do that another time. Look at me. Okay, this says, Lilith upside down. It says, do you sometimes fear being independent? You may have been conditioned to believe the only way to have close relationships is to become enmeshed and entangled with others. Do you long for independence and breathing space, yet fear reprisal should you choose to detach from unhealthy companions or situations? You'll need courage for the alignment task Lilith asks of you. Walk away and establish a more empowered sense of self by saying no to these relationships that drain your very life force. Sometimes people attract drama into their lives to avoid accountability. I think that's just what you wrote right there. Enabling this dynamic helps you avoid the responsibility that's required when you have no clue. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. I think, oh, there was a word below. I'm like, where did I get that? Okay. Let me start that paragraph again. Bear with me. I appreciate your patience. Let me start that paragraph again. Sometimes people attract drama into their lives to avoid accountability. Enabling this dynamic helps you avoid the responsibility that's required when you have no one else to blame for the conditions of your life. Other people's chaos becomes a smokescreen that muddies the real truth. Deep down, you're afraid of the consequences of taking charge of your life. However, all is not lost. You would not be here reading these words, listening to this broadcast, if you weren't ready and strong enough to make these changes. You are up-leveling your life. Lilith is beside you to lend you the strength and courage to do the right thing for yourself and others. I love that. That's exactly what we were just talking about that Stephanie spoke about. And I was saying, I used to blame others. I used to think others were judging me. I was too much for them. But it was just that I was too much for me, because that conference call said, like, really, girl, really? Yeah, my calling was like, oh, that's just way too much. That's way too audacious. Are you kidding? I can't do that. Why can't I do what she does? Why can't I do what he does? Why can't I do it the her way? Why can't I do it a way that someone else has already made cool? Psh. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. And there's the moon cycle. Ooh. Does anybody want an oracle card? I can draw an oracle card for you. Would you like a card? Would you like a card? These are so pretty. This is the Goddess Power Oracle deck. And for you gentlemen watching, I also draw these for men. I bring these to all of everything I do. Every reading I bring these for men as well. And I explain this because... Here, let me break it down all science-like, okay? Samantha, I got you. I'd love to pull one. Check this out. Hi, Samantha. Mwah. I love you. Have I told everybody I love you? I love you, I love you, I love you. When everything starts, it's male-female. Like the zygote, before it becomes a penis or a vagina, before it becomes an embryo, is a male-female zygote. Right? And this one thing goes one way or the other, okay? And so we all have, you know, a masculine, feminine aspect. But on planet Earth, for quite some time, in low vibrating energy, we've had a really damaged male aspect. And well, that feminine aspect, the nurture and balance, she ain't been here in a minute. We've been saying stuff like no pain, no gain. And... well, master your mind and all that crazy crap. I don't even know. I ain't even going to go there. But anyway, that's what this is. We could say that this is the reintegration of the divine feminine aspect of humanity to humanity. It's just learning to care for ourselves in a different way. You know, it's like I said earlier, like, you know, if you're, did I say this earlier on here? I can't remember if I said this or if someone I was speaking with. You know, if you're going somewhere and if you're sick, and you know you're sick and you're going to get worn down, it's going to wear you down, it's going to wear your family down. But we've been taught that, like, you know, you got to go to work, you got to be on time no matter what. I think I was talking about this, yeah, Capricornian stuff. That's what's important, right? Never mind that, you know, maybe that, yeah, I said this about a broken leg, like that it's going to get worse and worse and worse. The old paradigm says, shut your mouth, suck it up, buttercup, and go to work and figure it out. I mean, it's just supposed to magically figure its way out, right? And then, excuse me, you know, you have a stress fracture later, and then your body is really hurting, and then you have a long-term later, and then you limp, and it affects your back, and then someone's talking to you when you're 57, and you're like, yeah, it all started this one time when blah, 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 blah. That's old paradigm, okay? New paradigm is, whoa, my leg is really uncomfortable. I really need to tend to this. I understand that if I'm not in good shape, I'm not only not an asset, I might become a liability in my job, in my home, in my family, that this is counterproductive. So when I call my work and I say to them, hey, I need to take care of myself, not only is the job like, all right, the job is like, can we do anything to help you? How's your family all right? You know what I mean? Because they understand that the worker that they've already had that does a good job, who heals, who stays healthy, is an asset to their community and their business. It's a different paradigm. It's makes sense, right? Anywho. Lovely Samantha, you have, is her name ℓσνє? I don't even know how to say this. Number 21 upside down, so you have an alignment message. And her name, we're going to say, oh, that's an H. I had to look close there. Whoops. Hang on one second. Bear with me. Bear with me. Dun, dun, dun. There we are. She's so pretty. Look at her little thing. 2 in 1 is 3. Catalyst for change. 3 can change its environment without changing itself. So instrumental change here. And like I said, she's upside down, so you have an alignment message. And it says, are you surrounded by clutter in your home or work? Do you have objects or clothes that have negative stories attached to them? Every object holds energy and tells a specific story. The pants that don't fit, shame you, girl. The gift from an ex-partner taunts you with disappointment of resentment. The books you will never read shout at you. Who needs this cacophony? I love that word. The goddess ℓσνє, who rules the hearth, offers you this alignment task. Do a thorough house cleaning, declutter, and make space in your environment. Do the same for your mind too. Ooh, that's good on this moon. Your mind might be cluttered with old stories that have no value for you now. Walk away from situations you know you don't belong in. Get rid of all of it. When you remove the superfluous distractions, it's amazing how your intentions come together like magic. Make space for the miracles the goddess ℓσνє has in store for you. Yes, it takes work, but it's worth it. And I would say you're worth it. Does that resonate as the truth? I'm going to pull one of these too. Ooh, we're going to take that one right there. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. Amen. And this is a really good, again, remember I said Cancer is the home, okay? Literal and figurative. And what did we just talk about, y'all? Ooh, this is, I love this, I love this. Okay, if you want a better lover, tend to your bed. Tend to yourself, tend to your bed. If you want to date and court, tend to your bedroom. If you feel there is lack of connection and honesty, and what's that word I'm looking for when you divulge? What's the word when you just come with, not diarrhea of the mouth. What am I trying to say? If you want to be with more transparency in your relationship, if you want more transparency in your relationship, clean your closet, organize your closet. So when we clean our home and in this Cancer energy, then we clean up our lives. Because again, there is an energetic outcome for every physical and 3D action and behavior taken. It starts in the spirit world as a thought, possibly a belief, depending on what you're taking action on, right? And then there's always an energetic outcome too, because, you know, you do things for a certain reason. So when we tidy up our house and we feel like, well, I'm in order inside, then we feel, our energy changes. And then the universe says, she's a match to more order inside. Ha! Right? I like to say, it's like when I was little, I always wanted to wear my Wonder Woman underoos, right? Because it made me feel like a freaking superhero. All right? It didn't matter that anybody else knew I had them on. I knew I had them on, damn it. Well, I'm the same way today. I totally wear things because it makes me feel a certain type of way, right? And so, like, maybe I wear certain type of underwear inside, or, you know, I'll wear some wings. I wear wings. I wear all kinds of crazy crap. And the thing is, like, it might be something you can see, it might not, you know, but I feel this way. And then it makes me feel this type of way, which changes my energy, which might make people be like, whoa, she's so enthusiastic. And I'm like, you have no idea, because I have Wonder Woman underwear on inside. No. But you get it? Like, so if you take, and like it says here, you know, magic makes space, do it for yourself, and then do it for those around you. It totally works like that. It totally works like that for all of us. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hear what you do in your home and how it changes your life. And take action on that in the next 48. Preferably in the next 24. Whoa. There we go. I was going to say, no. I saw something. It's the wrong card. Hold on. We don't want that one in there. Take action in the next 24. And the reason is too, again, just for those that are new to moon manifesting, all water on planet Earth is influenced by the moon. The moon influences every bit of water, up to 72% on the planet. The oceans, the creatures that are also up to 72%. So just like the tides change, our bodies change. And we can utilize these energies, yield to these energies, and allow ourselves to be more in the flow. It's kind of like this. It's like I said, it's just like, you know, if you got something in the mail that was like, hey, during this time, there's this greater chance of you winning this thing if you play this thing, if you play along, if you, you know, if you get in this water slide, this one has more water right now and it's moving faster than those two. We're supposed to go to the same destination, but if you want to get there with a better, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. So, in the beginning of a moon cycle, we start with manifesting in our heart space, and our head space, through meditation and conscious visualization, right? Stuff like that. And then in the second space, which is going to be in the next 24 hours to 48, is when we want to actually take some physical action and follow that up. So whatever it is you're going, and I just said all this earlier, but just to reiterate it, just for those, so whatever it is you're going to do, right, with your hands, go do it. Do it in the next 24 to 48. This one's for you, Karen. You got Sophia, Divine Wisdom, number 47. 7 and 4 is 11, 1 and 1. Is that right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. She is so beautiful. 2 is duality. It is also connection with self. Partnership. It can be like twin flame energy. Some people really embrace the concept that is other living souls. I think you got souls that you got here to do work with. But for me, the twin flame energy is the divine union within self. Falling in love with you. You know what I mean? Falling in love with you. Marrying the she and the he. I have to show you something. It's my favorite. I totally have to show you this. Hold tight. You're fine. You're fine. I'm talking to my dog. This is my absolute favorite analogy I have ever come up with for sacred masculine, divine feminine. Okay? So this is him. This is the sacred masculine aspect of self. Very strong, very erect, very stable, right? Strong and stable. It needs to be planted in the ground, in fertile soil. Yes? So that he can bloom with fruit and creativity and beauty. This is she. This is the divine feminine aspect of self. And this is each of us. We have to learn how to plant ourselves firmly in our own gifts, our own ability, and in our own environment, whether male or female. You got to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, right? You got to learn some basic shit to take care of yourself, yes? And only then, right? Only when you're really grounded in who you are, your environment, you know what I mean? And you're stable enough to really like, oh, now I can be so creative and I can bloom and I can live in my gifts, right? So, you know, when I'm talking about that, especially for you guys, this is the perfect analogy. We both have both parts. So, Sophia Divine Wisdom, the alignment message says, when you are disconnected from your higher power, you begin to believe that you alone are the source of abundance in life. It is wise to commit to a conscious and deliberate daily connection to a higher power. When you forget to do this, you may place too much attention on materialism, work, money, goals, and the like. The goddess Sophia reminds you that it's the spiritual aspect and the invisible aspect, the essence of your desires, that means more than the form. You may be mistaking something false for divine guidance right now. It's time to come back into alignment and receive true divine guidance, divested from wishful thinking or ego attachments. Opening to the wisdom of the mystery of the universe is your alignment task now. Let the goddess Sophia guide you to your magic. The most meaningful and beautiful expression of yourself is waiting for you. You can tell me if that resonates. She is beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. Yes, the deception, and yet we have to embrace enough of the 3D to play in the 3D, because we have to keep the lights on, don't we? It's kind of a tricky balance, yes? And then wanting to see things as abundant enough to stay in the flow, to manifest more, and yet to not become preoccupied with being full. That's challenging, I think. And there's your card. Oh, you got 2 of them. Okay. It says, my fearless freedom lights up the earth, lights up the world. And then this one says, I receive that I recognize that I have chosen fear. If Heather could read. I recognize that I have chosen fear, and I choose again. I choose love. Does anybody else want a card? Does anybody else want me to pull them a card? I don't think I have any. By the way, when I do this, sometimes people, you know, message me ahead of time and ask me if I'll pull a card when we're live. But I don't think I had any. I did not check right before I got on here. So hopefully I'm not supposed to be pulling for anyone. And I didn't forget. If I did, let me know and I'll pull. Heaven, I would love, hello beautiful girl, I would love to pull for you. And Stephanie, I would love to pull for you. Yes, let's please do. I'm really excited about this moon, you guys. It's been I'm a Capricorn, y'all. So, you know, my daughter, I have twins that turned 23 this month. And one of my daughters said, I think it was last year, she said, Mom, you're like the queen of death and rebirth. And I was like, what? And she's like, seriously? And I'm like, you think that? And she's like, Mom. And I had never had someone put it to me like that. And of course, if she knows me, she grew up in my house. You know what I mean? And so I had to really like consider what she said. And then it was before I really, you know, before I really understood astrology, I was like, well, is that just like a drama queen? Like, what does that mean? But as I started to understand astrology, and I really get that, like, each of us has our own pathology. Rhymology. Don't get me started. I can flow, yo. So, it is my understanding, especially when you look at someone's natal chart, that we come trying to transcend some circumstances and ways of thinking and ways of believing and ways of being so that we can evolve our soul, right? And so in that, I totally forgot what I was going to say. I'm reading this. I completely spaced what I was going to say, and I cannot run this back. So sometimes if I can see myself, I can run like the thought process. I can feel the energy again. But if I can't, then I won't remember. And since I'm the only one talking, nobody can help me. About your emerging rebirth. I love hearing that. I love that she's hearing. I love that your daughter is tickled about that. Yeah, I don't even remember. Maybe it'll come back in a second. Let me focus for a second. I'm pulling for heaven. Aw. Is that your given name? Because that is like, okay, so check this out. You know when people are like, that's money, right? Well, in our home, we're trying to, for a while, we've been trying to transcend the belief that money is the most major currency on planet Earth, because it's not. So we've been trying for a long time. We've been like, that's heaven. So that's what we say. We're like, that's heaven. And then when I order food at the Asian places, they can't say Heather, so they say heaven. And I'm always like, yes, yes. I love that. I think it's like the best name ever. I absolutely love that. Your parents are brilliant. Oh, that's what I was saying. I'm a Capricorn, and I'm excited about this moon because, oh, death and rebirth, that's right. And you just don't have a choice. I felt like I dropped one. That was so weird. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Just make sure. No, I don't think so. But we had a lot fall out, so let's do that again. I'm a Capricorn, and so I've been like Saturn's bitch since I came. That's what I was saying. And once you start to study people's natal chart, you understand that people come with a pathology, and it is my understanding, that's where I was, that we all come and, you know, we sign up. Each of our souls wants to evolve, wants to learn. So we're going to, you know, have a little set of circumstances. We're going to do the do. But you really get that, like, everybody's doing their best. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's just trying with what they have from where they're at. And no one's at the same place. Like, we all come at a different level. And we all, you know, we all have to work with what we have, which gives us a particular disposition far past, like, oh, that's just what you learned when you grew up. Like, you're these things. You're this Saturn and Capricorn. Yeah. And so, you know, you have a filter, if you will, that you feel through, that you see through, that you witness the world perspective on, you know? So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. And then the more you learn about your own chart too, then the more you can learn about how you can help yourself or get out of your own way, or how you're hindering yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh, hey, like, I'm Chiron and Aries. I have Chiron and Aries. So I'm like, nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. I guess I'll go eat worms. So once I know that, then, like, half the time in a situation, I need to be like, Heather, it's probably not the case. It probably has nothing to do with you. You need to decide that you're cool and everybody still likes you and wants to play with you. And then, you know what? 2 days will pass, and then, like, I'll find, like, well, thank God I didn't say something about it. It was all me, because it had nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Heaven. These are all upside down today. This is really interesting. Iris is communication. 2 and 2. She's number 22. 2 and 2 is 4. We've got manifestation and stability. She's so pretty. Okay, so she is saying today, you are facing a moment when communication between you and others may have become disconnected. Perhaps people are withholding information from you or not being clear about their motives. Now is the time to ask for clarity and to get clear yourself. If you're sitting on the fence and are ambivalent about your direction, say that. Your alignment task is to say no to playing games, no to coercion, manipulation, and covert intentions. Take a straightforward attitude. Don't be afraid to hear what might disappoint you. Be clear and demand the same from others. The messenger goddess Iris knows the importance of clear communication, and she urges you to speak up for yourself. If you've come from an environment, family, or cultural history where you have not had a voice, this might feel like you're yelling, but that's all right. Times are changing, and now is not the time to be shy. It's okay to feel awkward or flustered, but the goddess Iris brings her powers of clarity and says it's your turn to be heard, so gather your courage. The people who are important to you in the long run will listen and witness you, and then you can engage in positive conversation that leads to heartfelt solutions. Even if your voice feels untrue and comes from a victim mentality, you must still speak what is inside you in order for you to heal or change it, or to find a way to the real truth. Let yourself be heard, and the great goddess will send strong teachers and wonderful allies for you. That's a beautiful card. How does that feel? I also wanted to tell you, I was feeling when I was reading this, Mercury just moved from Gemini to Cancer. So for me, it felt like my feelings started chatting. Seriously. I felt like my innards were like, today. And I was just like, what the heck? So this reading makes me feel like that. Like if your innards are starting to speak to you, it's time to let them be heard. And I love the freedom this reading gives you that says, don't judge the way you do it. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, just allow yourself to try. I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. Could that person be you? All right, let me see Miss Stephanie and Miss Audrey. Whoops. I missed. Let's see here. For those that are local, we're doing yoga in the park on Tuesdays. Please come see me at Swanee Town Center. We've been getting going about 7. It's been warm, so by the time we get going, it's not really till 7. I need to change that thing on there, which is fine. With, you know, like I said, it's been warm, so that's working. What else? I have free shipping on all my products on my website. If you guys are not familiar with my products, I make personal care products that should be sitting right in front of me to show you right now, and they are not. I make personal care products that are charged with bioscalar energy that make your body immune from Wi-Fi, cell phone, and ELF wave interruption and interference for 2.5 days per application. So that's basically reducing all radiation. Here, I think I've got something right here. So I have all these beautiful chemical-free products. This is a oh my gosh, what is my issue? Hello. There we go. Da-da-da-da-da. This is a no fragrance for man and woman. This little roll-on. Excuse me. This is created, the formula is created to calm and the energy balances your body on the cellular level, restoring all your systems to their ideal balance. We can demonstrate the efficacy with a patented magnetic test. It's really cool. Continued use of these products gives your body the ability to increase your conductivity and improve the conductivity, and I would say the word is integrity, of your electromagnetic field. All this stuff is coming through us, you know, through our home and in our neighborhoods and stuff. And do you know what I learned? Well, you can't tear down the towers because what you resist persists. And since I don't want to stand in resistance, I want to walk in the solution. I just said, well, let me vibrate myself higher. And that's what I did. So, the use of scalar energy and the electromagnetic field are being used by some scientists around the world to recalibrate organ systems for organ healing. They're using systems called transducers, I believe. I believe that's the word. All right, here we go. This is for Stephanie Arianrod. She says time, and it is number 3. So catalyst for change. There we go. Now she's focused. What is what made of? Scalar energy? Is that what you're asking me? Let me know. Text that, and I will answer. Number 3. Okay, let's see here. All right, Stephanie. Right now, you have all the time in the world to reach the fullest potential of your intentions and desires. Arianrod, the Celtic goddess of time, is your ally, and she will ensure your timing is perfect. The hours will expand to gift you the space you need to complete anything you have started. Today, recognize that no matter what is in front of you, time is your friend. Consider that everything you intend and desire also has its own relationship to time, and all will come to you in the perfect form and in the perfect moment. Patience, dedication, and quiet anticipation are delicate yet potent allies now. Arianrod is your champion, and your timing is perfect. I'm inspired to share a story with you. Stephanie, tell me if that resonates as the truth. Your universe reading says, I honor how I want to feel. I was thinking that when we call up Amazon, we know that, like, you know, if I place an order on Amazon on my computer right now, even if I'm going to get it on Amazon Prime tomorrow, it's got to process for, like, I don't know, like what, 12, 16 hours, something like that. It's got to go through the computer. And it's going to be sent to some warehouse wherever, and, you know, I'm going to get an email back, and then it's going to give me a time, and let's say that's tomorrow at whatever time, or, you know, whenever, right? Let's say it's 2 days from now. I'm going to get it in 16, 24 hours, okay? Something like that. Well, I don't run out to my mailbox in 6 hours and be like, damn it, it's not coming. Or run out there in 12 hours and be like, Amazon's screwing me. I bet they're giving their packages to everyone but me. And then I run out there, you know, in 14 hours or whatever, depending on the quote time. I should have made it more better to begin with. I run out there in 14 hours and I'm like, you know what? I don't even believe Amazon's real. I think I've been hustled, right? That thinking right there. Classic human thinking with our higher power, with the universe of all that is, right? We're like, well, I placed the damn order. Why isn't it here now? Right? I placed the order. But divine timing is so not my timing. And thank God. Because if I got, what's that, you know, thank God for unanswered prayers, that old country song. If I got what I wanted when I asked for it, I'll tell you some things, I wouldn't be ready for them. So, you know, we have to remember that this beautiful universe is quantum, and divine timing is not mine. I do my best and God got the rest. And so it said there in there, yeah, something about that. Patience and dedication and the potential. Your timing is perfect. And so if you remember that, like, if we can trust that like, it's just like that Amazon, it's just like that Amazon call, like, it's on its way for sure. The minute you place the order, the universe began preparing it in just the right way. That'll be delivered in just the right time, in just the right package, by just the right courier. Better than you could hope for in the notes. You feel me? And this wasn't. I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay, then I'll tell you what else, Stephanie. If you feel I'm not sure what your time zone is. I'm sure we're probably all fairly the same. When you go to sleep tonight, you know, be very gentle with you. Be very gentle with you. I would put both hands. I always start with the left because it's your feminine hand. I'm going to be backwards from you guys. So start with your left. It's your feminine hand. And place that on your body, wherever it is you're giving love to. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wherever it is you're giving love to, place the left hand here covered by your right. That's your masculine hand holding on top of that, right? And so give love to that part of your body where you felt that opening. And if you feel any sort of impulse comes up attached to it, no matter how random and crazy it sounds, that might be the thing that you are releasing. That might be some energy that's moving inside you, and that's a beautiful thing. And if you experience that, you can consciously let whatever it is that comes up for you, you can consciously let it go and say, thank you for your service. Because whatever came, whatever it looked like, whatever it felt like, was here to help us grow. And so if you feel some shifting inside you, I'm not saying you will come up with anything. You might just feel an openness, and you can just, you know, hold on to your body with your hands and say, thank you, I love you, when you go to sleep. But if you happen to like have some sort of like, because this is the way it works for a lot of people I work with. And since when we enter sacred space together, we are in energetic transmission together, and I am an energetic healer. We can be moving things around in there. So if you happen to go to sleep and feel like I'll have like a random picture of my dad when I was 5 or something like that, and I'll like, or something that upset me when I was 6 or something like that, I'm like, that's not that big of a deal, right? But whatever that is, it was enough to beep up on your radar. So if you have one of those, then just be like, oh, you know, I love you to that time, to that you, and whatever the situation is. Because if we feel it, we can heal it. I'm all about that statement. I totally agree with that. That is the gospel truth. That is the way it works. Because otherwise, you don't even know what to pay attention to. Right? All right. Miss Audrey, are you still with us? All right, let's see here. La, la, la. I have an itchy nose. Okay. Why does it seem like the whole deck is upside down? It's so not. That's funny. Yeah, that's wild. Like everyone we've pulled right now. Huh. I'm going to switch them anyway. We're going to do that. I'm going to take half of them and switch them. Anyway, you pulled Bronwyn, forgiveness, number 7, and she's upside down, which means we have an alignment message. Here she is. So pretty. 7. Absolute spirituality. I would say, I was going to say 7's such a spiritual number, but every number is a spiritual number. Everything's a spiritual process. It's spiritual life. But to me, when I think of 7, for this card, it means allowing permission for, like thinking in a different realm is the words that come to me. I know that sounds a little out there, but maybe thinking in a different way that wouldn't be the normal 3D. There you are. And she's upside down. So it says, sometimes we unintentionally cause hurt or pain to others. Sometimes our motive really is to hurt. Now is the time for self-inventory and making amends. Your alignment task is to be 100% accountable for your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your motives, and your actions. You are not doing this, however, to experience forgiveness from someone else or even from yourself. It's to have the strength and fortitude to be accountable and take responsibility for your actions. In this way, neither guilt nor shame can take root in your heart. You stand empowered and humble with your head high no matter the consequences. You will always be the beneficiary of such an act. The goddess Bronwyn says deep healing comes from this kind of courage and respect. Audrey, tell me how that resonates. I'll tell you what I felt on that. Your universe card says, I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness, with the owl herself, which is such a symbol of feminine wisdom. Feminine meaning intuitive, tuning into intuition. Oh, wow. Lots of stuff. That's wild. 777s. What I was thinking on this is, if we, and you can tell me if this resonates, if we hold beliefs that others do not want well for us, if there's a they, if we hold beliefs or feelings that institutions or systems or family members or others don't want well for us, then it might feel like that's the truth. It might have been the truth in the past. It might be the truth in the present. But if it is our truth right now, then we are fostering beliefs, thoughts, and feelings that keep us from being responsible for our own actions. We cannot stand empowered because, as we were talking about to begin with, if I feel like others don't want well for me, it is my way of not stepping into my power because I don't want well for myself. Tell me if that resonates. So if you hold any of those thoughts inside about others, maybe that, like I said, it might be the truth, but it comes down to, at this point, what do you want more of? What do you want more of? Meaning, whether that's the truth of the people and the systems and the institutions around you, if you don't want more of it, you need to change the story, flip the script inside of the story you tell yourself. Taking more responsibility for your feelings and your own self. Yes. Especially if you're in a situation right now where others are belittling you, or you're not feeling appreciated enough or valued enough. You're a match to it, right? Or you're not, or you wouldn't be a match to it. So your responsibility, your task, your job of alignment becomes in empowering yourself by focusing on that stuff less. Then, because you must harbor feelings or thoughts or beliefs that make you feel less than worthy. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a tricky one. Those are tricky. It's tricky like that. I had to start to learn, because like, either I'm a match to it or not. So if you're like not valuing my time or my energy or my whatever I'm doing, then obviously I'm not representing the woman that teaches you to value her time or her energy. I'm not teaching you how to treat me. Do you feel me on that? Does that make sense? The other card, Stephanie, was I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness, with the owl. And the owl is so symbolic of female intuitive wisdom. Like, that's the, she's all about the nighttime. Excuse me. She's all about what she sees at the night. She's all about what is hid from the light and seen in the dark. So that is the feminine, intuitive aspect of self, that we get quiet. Yes, inner conversation needs change. When inner conversation changes continuously, inner belief system will follow suit. First, it's a mindful change, right? I got to talk to myself to change myself. I got to talk through mantras to believe, to start to tell. Because remember, here's what happens, okay? You got the first 18 days. The subconscious, y'all, subconscious works on repetition and what it sees consistently, okay? That's why I don't let myself take in and see what I don't want to see. I would never ever listen to someone talk about me or show me crap that I don't want to become a part of. would never listen to it, right? So because if I see something repeatedly, I'm going to start to think it's normal, whether I consciously make the decision or not. My subconscious is fed by what it sees. It takes note of everything it sees and everything it hears. And then if it sees it and hears it a lot, it starts to record it as the truth. Okay? So if you want to reprogram your subconscious, which is what I do with people on a very fundamental level, we are reprogramming those old belief systems that are shitty, that tell me I'm shitty, that tell me I'm not worth that much, that tell me I should surround myself with people who treat me like I'm not worth that much. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I want to reprogram my way of operating, if you will, I have to first decide to tell myself a new story that I'm going to have to reinforce, okay? So in the first 1 to 18 days, this is why I use mantras. This is why I gave you those mantras in the beginning. Maybe someone, if any of you remember what time that was, maybe you could jot it in the notes and then I'll put it in the comments on this. But, if you see these things like I'm a beautiful child of God, the earth is a safe place for me. And then what did I say? I am a conscious human being. I choose to take action and be part of the solution or something like that, right? Well, maybe that's not been the case. Or for you, Audrey, I'm a beautiful child of God. The earth is a fun place for me. I feel good. I get my needs met. Tell me how that feels. But what I'm feeling for you is I have gifts given me by God, right? That's solar plexus right there. I glorify the gifts given unto me. So if you're not doing that, if you're not feeling your worth, which feels like a solar plexus issue to me for you, because you're not giving yourself the credit and understanding that you have gifts given unto you. You have gifts given unto you, unique to you, that I don't have. That if you bring them forth, you might inspire me to make magic, right? You got stuff. You got stuff I don't have. You got stuff that Stephanie doesn't have. You got stuff Karen doesn't have. You got stuff that others don't have. That when you bring it forth unique to you, this changes your environment, right? And so if you don't give yourself the ability, if we don't give ourselves the credit, if you will, the permission is really what it is. It's not credit, it's permission, it's allowance to be all that you can be, then you can't expect the people around you to recognize your worth and to be like, oh, I'm cool with who you want to be, right? You can't even do it. I expect them to do it. You feel me? So the way you do that is you start to tell yourself a new story. So you use that mantra. I glorify the gifts given unto me, right? And let's say you say it and you write it. And for the first 18 days, your subconscious is going, whoa, 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 whoa. Lexi's in my life too. Of course your gifts change. Yes. That's why we got to stay in conscious contact with ourselves. Everything changes. Even the way you use the gifts change because the energy changes. It's like and your relationship with spirit changes. Right? So absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. The analogy I give on that for people is when you're little, you ride in the back seat of the car. Right? And that's it. You don't really interact. You just sit in the back seat of the car and hope that I guess if you're even paying attention, you hope that whoever strapped you in that seat well. I don't know. Maybe you're thinking about crapping your pants. I don't know. But you're not thinking really about anything like who's driving the car or anything like that. Maybe you are. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, let's just go with it. You're little. You're in the seat. You're just along for the ride, right? Well, then some years go, and then you're out of that seat, and you're sitting in the car itself with a seatbelt on, and you're looking out the window. And you might be talking with the driver about what you're seeing out the window. You're interacting, right? More years go by, and now you are sitting in the passenger seat. And you got a map. and you're helping navigate with that driver. You're really interacting in the whole ride now, right? Right? And then more years go by, and maybe now you're driving the car, right? So it's still being, you know, the car is still outside your hands, but your relationship to the whole process changes, right? You don't want to stay the kid in the back seat your whole life that sits in the chair and is like, I'm just going to believe everything that was said to me, and I'm not going to take any charge of what's going on in my head or my heart space, and I'm just going to regurgitate bullshit, and you know what? It is what it is, right? No. That's like when we're like little with our legs dangling in the back seat. And then we start to realize that, like, you know what? We don't really like this. And so when you move into the front seat, you start to say, no, you know, I'm going to do this a little bit different. I want to drive the car differently. And then when you get in the driver's seat, you're like, no, I'm not going to run this same stupid tape. I don't want to listen to this shitty music anymore. I don't like this crappy ride. I want to put the windows up, right? I want to feel good or whatever it is. You're more conscious in the process. So you can reprogram your thinking. The kicker is to first become aware what needs reprogramming, I would say, you know? And we can do that. Last month, and I can carry it through this month too if you want to do this. Last month I ran a special on chakra toning, chakra cleansing. And that's a really good way to start, good place to start for people, is to see where in your body you're off. Where is it you're out of balance? Where is it you're responding, you know, in some type of way? And then with that, we can balance your systems energetically. And then, you know, you can start reprogramming the corresponding thinking, the corresponding beliefs, because that's how it works. We have beliefs about everything, who we are, the world around us, how we interact with it, if it's beneficial interaction, not beneficial, you know, how we interact and encounter the creatures around us, all of that. And it's either working well for us or it's not, right? And so based on that, we can choose to reprogram those beliefs, and then we can subsequently reprogram our behaviors. And then lo and behold, you have different relationships, different interactions, different character, because you're exercising different behaviors and you have a different life. Monkey see, monkey do. The beautiful flip side of the fact that that humans are very like, I saw it, now I'm going to do it. The flip side of that, you know, we always see that so negative. We paint that so negative. But the flip side of it is, in fact, I had to learn a lot about the problem in order to come up with a solution. You know what I mean? So the flip side of that is, if you can program something to do the wrong thing, well, you can program it to the right thing. You can program it to do a really right thing. You can program it to be amazing. If my subconscious runs merely on repetition and what it sees a lot, well then, sweet Jesus, let me feed it beneficial things. Let me fill my vessel with all that is beautiful, so that I can be beautiful within, so that I can see beautiful things, so I can feel beautiful things, so I can hear beautiful things, and cultivate the space within, so that's all that can be found. Do you know what I'm saying? And then what's that make me a match to? Beautiful things, right? So, clean house. Again, we come full circle with the Cancer new moon. Clean house, figuratively and literally. Go home and clean your closet. Clean your house. Clean your thoughts about self that are less than beneficial. And yeah, if you want some help on that, we can do a chakra cleansing. I'll throw up that information. I'll throw up my email. Y'all can send me a thing. And I think I did that. Yeah, I think I did it for... we ran a $50 special last month. So I will totally still honor that if you want to do that. We can do it online and in person for anyone who's local. Let me know. And that just basically balances your we balance and recharge your chakras and clean out some stagnant energy. It's the same as your house. If you needed to clean your closet, you're going to need to clean it out, right? Your body is the same. It's just we've not been taught these things, you know? Like, you know, if women carry a purse. You carry a purse for a long time. So much crap accumulates in your purse, right? If you don't clean it out. All these things in the 3D we understand, but the body is the same. I have held, like I'm trying to think of, okay, like one of them I'm talking about online right now is how the body makes protein. And people are like, no, you got to consume protein. I'm like, no, you don't. Your body makes it, right? Well, because we were taught this one thing and we were taught this one belief system, then we regurgitate that over and over and over until I stop and say, is that really true? Let me ask some different sources. Let me do some exploration. Let me decide in my own heart, to thine own self be true. What is true for me? Till I do that consciously, and then maybe I say, yes, this is true. I'm going to double down on my old belief. I find it beneficial. I find it for my well-being. Then so be it. But more often than not, we start to go through that closet and find these things that have been laying in there for quite some time, these thoughts, these beliefs, and we're like, well, this one tells me I can't do shit. This one tells me I'm not worthy of that. Well, this one's waiting for one more part of the problem because I think that most relationships end like this. Well, look at my shitty closet. Look what I'm waiting for. And then I wonder why when the shitty relationship and the poor self-worth and all that crap come knocking on my door and I'm like, well, everything is just bad. Nah, homegirl, you a match for it. Do you know what I mean? So it's time to clean house, figuratively and literally. Yes, yes, yes. And with that, I'm going to get off of here. I need to go to bed. It is late my time. I thank you guys so much for joining me. I've had such a good time with you all. Yes, I have, there's, for me, if you give me a roadmap that says, Heather, this is what, when you came, this is what was in the clouds, right? And so if you, like, for example, for those who are, I'll give you a really quick little astrology tidbit right here. Everyone, when you came to the earth, when your soul came to earth, this planets were in a certain position, right? So we can study your natal chart. We can study your north and south node. We can study where it is beneficial for your soul to put energy, for your soul to consciously focus your evolution, and where your soul has already been and either already mastered or leaned way too hard in the wrong directions, right? Like what you need to freaking just like leave that shit alone, young buck, right? So if you give me this information and you say, like, for example, I'm a North Node in Scorpio, South Node in Taurus. So I don't need to be bougie. I don't need to be super concerned with all of the physical comforts of this life. For me, the soul evolution and liberation comes in literally scouring to the bottoms of human consciousness and exposing all it is, which is exactly what I did for 9 years before I decided to distill it and come share it with you all. So that's the stuff that makes me so happy, makes me feel like I'm growing. Do you know what I mean? Where, like, you know, anyone who knows me well knows that, like, I am not as concerned with the material comforts. I never have been. I'll leave a financially, like, you know, booming relationship the minute the passion's not there. The minute I'm just like, nah, no more, you know, because we're not kicking all that fire anymore. So when the beautiful gift with this astrology for me is the more I learn about the process, the science itself, and then the more I'm able to apply it for myself and for others, it's such a gift to say, hey, Heather, you know, avoid that right there. Focus your energy here. Go look at this. Or yeah, that makes sense that you're not so strong here. It would behoove you to go do this. So it's such a, anything that helps me grow, y'all, that helps me become more of the human being I want to be. Because for me, for those that don't know, like, you know, I was a hardcore drug addict and alcoholic. I've been detained with a .416 blood alcohol level, walking, talking coherently, giving nutrition advice to the sheriff deputy that detained me. I've cracked my skull open and had a bleed in my brain. I've jumped out of a 3-story building in front of my children. I've jumped out of many a car when you pissed me off and didn't do what the hell I wanted. I was batshit crazy. Do you know what I mean? And then, you know, I get sober and then I still have like anxiety and I hate myself. And I don't live in my gifts and I don't think I'm good enough. And it's never enough. And I was just so like, I call bullshit on this. Like, this is bullshit. I don't even believe that mess. Not a bit, you know? And so, I was sharing this story with someone earlier today. I literally said that to Spirit. Like, I believe, like, I feel you. I've known you since I came. And so, I don't believe in this bullshit. Everybody has anxiety and gets 4 types of cancer. I don't believe in this life. Like, show me what I need to prosper as a human being on planet Earth. And Spirit did. Spirit showed me, and the planet herself changed in relation to me. And the way that she spoke to me, and the way that I learned to speak to my body, to the planet, and to all that is. And so, anything that helps me evolve my consciousness, strengthen and hone my conscious connection with what I call Source, become more balanced and harmonious in my physical body, and allows me to be in greater service to my own soul, my family, my community, and this earth, is all that I'm about. I'm that little kid that's like, you guys want to go do some self-help and self-growth for fun? Oh yeah. So those are some of the gifts that these studies have done for me. And that's why I choose to share today. Because we all want to feel better. And there's stuff that we can do each and every day to take some little actions and some little steps to help us. So I really do... I love that. I love that your readings were accurate. I really love you all for joining me so much. I'll start a little chat. I'm probably going to do it every week. I'm just one of those very, very intuitive people that doesn't like schedules. The minute we schedule something at the same time, I'm like, I have to do this thing. And it's not the same energy for me. So I do better to just pop on here when I do. I will make sure to tag you all. And I also wanted to tell you, if there's something specifically that you want to learn about or you want me to share about, please put it in the comments or send me an email. Go to my website at www.chieftessliving.com and go to the contact form and send me. I know we have a bunch of questions about nutrition right now. What else? I mean, well, there's all kinds. But if you have something specifically that you'd like for me to share, let me know. And then I have free shipping on all of my products on my website. Same website, just go to the store. And I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else. I think I'm like talking in circles now. But yes, and then yoga in the park on Tuesday for those that are local. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I love you all, and I will see you later, alligators. Mwah. I love you.